Well, thank you for joining us on Morning Live. Now, over the past 2 days, we've been discussing lockdown regulations and also the effect on legal practitioners. And joining us now is Kathleen Matolo-Dlepu, who is the chairperson of the Legal Practice Council, to respond to our interview yesterday where a legal practitioner stated that lockdown regulations actually bear dire economic consequences for the legal fraternity. In that interview, the legal practitioner said that it is difficult for them to get permits, which allows them to move from one court to the next. Kathleen, thanks so much for your time this morning and welcome.
Thank you, Sakila, and morning to your listeners.
Are you aware of the concern that was raised yesterday by the legal practitioner that we spoke to?
Yes, definitely. As the council, we are aware of the difficulties and the issues raised by the practitioners yesterday. The Minister of Justice and Correctional Services requested the Legal Practice Council to come up with a plan and measures to ease the hardships that are being experienced by legal practitioners. And we consulted widely with other stakeholders. As you know, that there are a lot of role players within the justice system, and the interest of the profession and the public and their safety has to be taken into consideration in any recommendations that we make.
So given the hardship... I was just going to say,
thank you.
Given the hardship that has been expressed, the difficulty in obtaining permits, you say you have been consulted as the Legal Practice Council. So with regard to the regulations as they stand right now, what sort of inroads have you made to try and alleviate that plight?
We have come with recommendations on, firstly, the permits are being issued by the Legal Practice Council provincial offices. But we didn't anticipate the flood of applications, taking into considerations that the courts are in recess, but the applications were just too many. And at some instances, 400 at a time. So with the skeleton staff that we are using, obviously they could not cope. But they have to be specific. Before they issue you with a permit, they have to check your status as a legal practitioner, your legal standing, whether you are enrolled with us, and the reason why you want that permit. So it took some time, obviously, and practitioners became frustrated. But we have come, after consultation, we have come with recommendations that maybe the permits, although they are still open to abuse, the firms of attorneys and the voluntary associations that those legal practitioners belong to may be given permission to issue those permits. The permits should not be specific for matters to be enrolled, but we still need to have a way of making sure that the permits are issued to the right people who are legal practitioners. As you know, that permit system is being abused, and we need to make sure that we balance the two.
Kathleen, as you say, you've been inundated with requests for these permits, but have the legal practitioners who've been contacting the council, have they asked for financial assistance? Because some of the smaller firms were saying that they are struggling. So have they approached the council for financial assistance, and are you in a position to assist?
Oh yes. The council is busy. We have a benevolent fund which we'll use to offer financial assistance. Obviously, all the stakeholders have to participate in that fund. The criteria have to be developed, and we are talking with other stakeholders to contribute to that fund. Definitely, we are aware of the financial difficulties that they're experiencing, and we are attending to it.
So in simple terms, moving forward, what is the board planning to do? And if you can just speak to legal practitioners who may be watching right now in terms of the relief moving forward.
Firstly, there are other funds that the legal practitioners can access. especially the UIF and other funds in the meantime, whilst our fund is still being put in place. Obviously, there will be strict criteria. You have to be in good standing with the with the Legal Practice Council. You must have your Fidelity Fund certificate for you to be able to access those funds. All the funds will be accessed by both attorneys and advocates who apply for it, and subject to the criteria being complied with.
Well, thanks so much. We have to
so
leave
we will
it there.
be announcing.
No,
Okay,
finish your
thank
point. You may conclude there, Kathleen.
I'm saying that we will be announcing in due course when those funds can be assessed.
All right. Thank you so much for your time this morning, Kathleen Matolo-Dlepu, the chairperson of the Legal Practice Council, talking to us about the consequences that the lockdown regulations have had on legal practitioners. And as she says, they are working on those permits, and of course, relief is available through the avenues that she has just announced. And this, of course, brings us up to time for the news. Do keep sending us your responses to our questions.